Welcome to Financials with Ahau. It's a joy to be together with you again as we continue on the Making Wealth series. And we've been talking about every idea counts. Yes. All these ideas that come to your heart, come to your mind, what are you doing about them? Because there is a potential in each of them. And some it will be to thrive and grow into bigger businesses. And some it will be just to learn a lesson and to pick from it and to grow from there. And that's something I want us to really think through. So today I want to talk about the event planning idea. Yes. Now, this one was one of those things I used to do because I enjoyed. Like whenever my friends would have something coming up, I'm not big on like maybe if it's a wedding, being on the lineup, they have to like drag me. I think I've done like 2 marks and that's it. So I'm always like, can I be at the back end and plan? Like I will wake up at 4 a.m., make sure the place is set up. I'll go with you to check out the venue. I will check out vendors with you and all of that. So my friends are like, wow, it's something you really do with ease. So why don't you build up to it? So I would do it, enjoy, post, end the day, debrief, meet people. So over time I realized first I had like a contact list of, DJ wedding 1, florist wedding 3, tent wedding 2. So first I realized one, I actually had a few contacts and then I had the experience and then I enjoyed it. And I decided, why don't I venture into it as a business? So I kind of thought through what that would look like, went online, kind of starting to check out what courses I could take to help me grow in this area, and even find out how people do event planning globally, like not just for my space, like in Kenya, in Africa, but globally. And I remember one of the things I discovered is people have a whole website where they plan everything concerning the wedding, and it really helps the couple to get organized, like right from the introductions. In Africa, you have to go to the parents and do some good stuff there, which is important, by the way. And then they come and do the church wedding and things like that. So this site was like so key for all of that and so beautiful. I remember piloting it with 2 couples and we were like, wow, the ease of even getting the registry. In Africa, you don't know who's coming, who's not coming. Is your uncle coming with 3 buses? Are your parents coming with 5 vans? So it was very good in terms of helping to organize. So for me, that was one of the things I learned, like this business, is look beyond your region. Like what are other regions doing? How are they building up their event planning, and how can you build up yours? The other thing I learned is there are people around you who actually have an interest in what you're doing and you can partner. And this was one of those ones where I partnered with Ease. God brought me a friend and we just talk about it from with like as a fun thing. So I tell her, oh, I'm doing this event, I've gone here, this is what I've done. Kumbe, my friend is like so intrigued. So over time we began to talk about it, and it even became a place of accountability, because then she would ask me, what have you done? What are you thinking? And share ideas and even dream across with what the event planning could do. Then I remember one of my siblings also came along and they're like, choose events that really have value. Choose events that really build up what you're doing. Think beyond this type of events. And I'm like, wow, people. One of the things you'll hear across the board as I talk about business is how people are so key in what you're doing and for different reasons. So for me, that was so important as I learned and dreamt and, came out into doing this business. The other thing was now the people who came and actually trusted us to do the events. The people who would take a pause and say, by the way, how I think you can actually do this baby shower and plan it for me. I think you can actually do this book launch and plan it for me. I think you can plan my wedding. And we were just like, wow, it's an honor that you can trust us with the information and how your day will run. I remember one that was so beautiful. I had never done, like, it was really one of those things that executing was just stretching for my mind, was a destination wedding. Like, literally, we're planning it in Nairobi, but this wedding is happening out of town. And it stretched me to learn, it stretched me to see things on the ground. Have you ever gotten to a place which you don't? If you're doing it in your region, you're like, I know who's here, I know where I can go for this. You don't know, and you realize you don't have things, and you have to create in that space. What can I use to mark parking? What can I use, to say this is reserved? What kind of things, could happen? Vendor doesn't show up with one thing, budget is just on the edge. What do we do? So this has been a business that has also removed me from an area of comfort and allowed me to grow. And that's what ideas do to us. When we allow ourselves to step into the idea, we step into areas of comfort. This is also a business that has humbled me. Yes. Humility on multiple levels. When I realize I know nothing, I don't even have enough people in my contacts. The way I'm telling you, I started and I saw I have contacts, they are not enough. Sometimes someone is asking for an event in the middle of their village, and you're like, I don't know anyone in that region. And you've searched, and you've searched, and you've searched. So it also puts you at a place of being humble to realize the things you don't know and the things you need to learn and the things you build up. It also makes you creative in your knowledge sources. I remember my eyes just opened up in everything event planning. I was following event planning pages on Instagram. When I walk through the city, that was the one that just carried me away. When I walk to places where I can get content, I pick books. So I have two amazing books. Again, something I realized I used to admire when I was younger. There was a gentleman I used to watch a lot, and now he's done a book on weddings called The Big White Wedding Book. David Tutera. He would do weddings and I'm like, wow, that's so well done. And then in Kenya, we had our own Samantha, and I'd watch Samantha do weddings. And I'm like, wow, Samantha, this is so beautiful. How can I learn from that? And that's been the space this has brought me into, like, even reading, taking a pause and saying, who knows what I need to know, and growing from it. And that's something I want to encourage us with our ideas, like taking the pauses to learn, even as we venture into them, taking that pause and saying, I need to learn something that will make me better at this business is going to be key. And also stock taking. So, like right now with my partner, we are going to stock take. This business, we haven't done as much in this season. So, we have to sit down and stock take and ask ourselves, what next for this business? Is it going to remain the way we had planned it to? Do we want to now venture into it in a different way? That's also very important. I encourage you, every idea counts. Every idea counts. There are lessons you're learning from your ideas. There are growth points from your ideas. And keep praying. As we came into partnership in this business, I prayed, I asked God, who can I work with? And for sure, He brings the right people. So thank you for listening. Looking forward to the next conversation. And I encourage you to write about your ideas, pray about your ideas, and take each step you need to take about your ideas. Thank you so much.